Alrighty, so this is the beginning of the sketch for the dragon puppet. I'm just sketching out the dragon head, side one. So this is only an outline in pencil. You're not going to fill anything in with that pencil, just really a little bit maybe in the eye or parts that you want to be really dark. Otherwise, please just leave it completely empty for the colored pencil to do its work. You want to take up a majority of the page as well, so you can see that the dragon head is quite large for the page. Then you're going to start picking out a color scheme. So I think the more colors the better. You can still have a palette of just blues while using 10 different shades of blue, and it'll look so much better than if you just use one blue colored pencil. You want to add value to every single section as well. So as you can see, the horns, the scales, the spikes, the teeth even have value, and that's going from dark to light. The easiest way to create value with colored pencil too is by using pressure. So pressing down harder where you want it to be darker, and then pressing down lighter and lighter as you gradually blend that out. I recommend not even lifting your pencil up off the page, just keeping it on the paper the whole time when you're using one color, going in circular motions, curving your lines, and then just gradually releasing that pressure until it creates a really nice value scale. That's how I've found the fastest way to create value is. And here I'm also trying to make it look a bit more three-dimensional by adding some darker shadows underneath some of those spikes and bits of like fur, or, you know, whatever you call them. I added some of these weird kind of symbols. They are not from anything, they don't mean anything, but I thought they looked cool. So made the dragon look a little more tough. I'm adding in some blue to really just add some contrast and make parts of it pop as well. So when you mix that blue on top of the orange, it makes more of a brownish color, and on top of the red, it's making more of a purple. So I just thought it added a lot of depth and it made it a little bit more dynamic as well. Some last minute details before I start the tail. The tail's on a new piece of paper. I did set it next to the dragon head first, and I measured the width. So I drew 2 little lines to make sure that the tail was the same width as the dragon head, so that when we later on add the accordion fold in the middle, they'll be able to line up really nicely. Same thing, I created the outline in pencil, didn't fill anything in, and then I started the colored pencil. If you are my student, please get every single step of this process approved by me first. I want to see each outline, each sketch, before you start colored pencil. And then once you start that process, you can see here, I outlined the basic parts, and then I filled it in really lightly with a base pink before going in and adding value to each section. So the outlines are great, but don't keep it just an outline. You're gonna want to add value to everything, so even the outer parts of your dragon will need value. And again, same as the dragon head, try and use as many colors as possible, even if it's all different variations of the same color. This is me adding blue to create that shadow. Again, on top of the red and the orange, it just creates this really cool mixture of colors and gives it more depth and makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. I wanted the spikes to look a bit more 3D on this one too, on the tail, look like it's curving backwards with the tail. So I am going to later on add a bit more shadow underneath those as well to make them pop. I added some more of those super random symbols to the tail as well. Hopefully they don't actually mean anything. I tried using a silver colored pencil for that part. It didn't really work out very well, so I turned it a bit more blue. It looks like it's glowing a little bit. Here I'm adding a bit more shadow, like I mentioned, and just adding any finishing details to make it look a bit more like the dragon head as well, because I want them to look like they're from the same dragon, obviously. And now I'm comparing it to the dragon head and realized I actually could add a little bit more blue to that. So here is what you're going to need to make the accordion fold. Popsicle sticks, glue stick, scissors, and construction paper. You're going to fold it into a tri-fold. Open it up. It has 3 sections. You're going to cut those 3 sections. right at the seam. You can use as many colors as you want as well. Then you're going to create the accordion by getting a small section, folding it towards you, and then away, and then towards you, and then away, and then towards you and away until you've done the entire strip of paper, and then when you open it up, it'll create that accordion. Here I am doing that with 2 other colors as well. And now I'm cutting out my dragon. So you want to be really patient with this part. Every little detail matters. Cutting it out is super important. Making sure that it's a nice clean cut, that you get all of those little spikes and teeth and everything. For the sections in the middle, just poke a hole with a pencil and then you can go ahead and cut that out with the scissors. Flip your dragon over. I decided that these accordions were maybe a little too thick because I wanted to use all 3 colors, so I just cut them again to make them a little bit thinner, and that's totally fine. Put down some glue, and then you're gonna wanna make sure that those accordion folds line up perfectly with the edges of your dragon. If your accordion folds don't line up perfectly, just overlap them so that the edges do line up perfectly. And even then, if they still don't, just go back in and trim them so that it's a nice clean line from the dragon head to the dragon tail. And there you go, that's the finished dragon puppet. We call her dragon fruit. And then this is a different dragon as well. This is a wyvern style because it has a back leg and wings, whereas the other one was an Eastern style dragon, which doesn't have wings or feet. All right, I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you have any questions.